Join Samantha and the team by signing up for a new membership today. With 20% off any new subscription, use a special promo code NY2025 at the checkout. Promo ends on January 7th.
Welcome back. Hope you had a great week. So last week we discussed the wicks and how this level of resistance at $20 was important. You can see that we pretty much stayed within this box, and now we're trying to reject. You can see we're having heavy selling as soon as we try to even go near 19. So bigger picture, I zoom out, you'll be able to see this is the channel that we're in. And if the wicks breaks back below 16.216, then we're very likely going to come back into 13.6, and then we're going to come back to 10.78. So wicks selling off could be a sign of a bullish market. Again, dollar, as discussed, expected a wave 3 top into this fib level, 109, we are rejecting. So I do think that we are going to digest it a little bit on the dollar, maybe come down to retest this 106.5 region. If that's the case, then on the dollar, you can see that that would lead to, some bullishness on equity. So I still am a firm believer that we are going to go push up, break this high at 6,100 and push potentially into that 6,300 region. Still think we're going to follow this blue path rather than the red path because, as I mentioned last week, this 5,900 was a level of support and we couldn't really stay below that for more than a day. We always got supported and now we're trying to break back up. So this again, wave 4 digestion that looks to move higher. QQQ on the other hand, as you can see, the long-term channel, we've still hovering in the middle of the channel. We do need to go up to test the 570, 580 region. And I think the market is likely going to remain bullish till we do that. IWM on the other hand, because of the higher yields, you can see, I do think that we will have a little bit more digestion, but because of it trying to break out of the bull flag, kind of stuck in a no man's zone. So ideally we would need over 230 to break out and under 210 to sell off. We're still kind of stuck in between, but if the yields do get some selling, you could see some relief bounce in IWM. But yeah, this was a flag and we're trying to break out of the flag, but we haven't broken out of the supply zone. So 4.7 is a very important level. On the yields above that, then the market will again maybe start to get more selling. With that being said, let's look at this week's watch list. So I discussed Tesla, for example. Last week I was like this 400 wave for digestion, likely going to come back, retest and bounce. You can see here now Tesla, as long as you hold over 415, I think we still break above into the 510 and even the 550 region. So I'm still bullish on Tesla. Microsoft on the other hand, that we'd bounce off at 430, but we've come down into 415. But for me, as long as we hold this channel, I still think this is just an ABC digestion that still will go up and break higher. Amazon on the other hand, again, same thing. We're digesting and this likely breaks out and moves into that 240, 245 region. We look at Google, still one of the few stocks at the bottom of the channel. If we stay above 192, 195, then we're very likely going to push into like 220, 230 area into the top of the channel on Google. And I do have AMD again. Last week couldn't get above that 128, came back down, but now we're opening above that 128. So as long as we hold above 126, we can still break into that 132, 135, and even that 138 gap fill. So bullish on AMD, it is trying to break out, so you can keep an eye on it this week. So what are some stocks that can sell off? I'm still bearish on China. I do think it can have an oversold bounce, but I do firmly believe that that bounce will reject and come back lower. So BABA, if we do stay below 85, then eventually I do think that we will come down to test this 74 region on BABA. And last but not the least, I do think that airlines could have a little bit more digestion. I mean, you can see here we are trying to break out, but we do have an unfilled gap here on AL. So I do think that maybe we come down to fill this gap before we move higher. So if we reject 17, I'm looking for it to retest 14.76. So yeah, that's all I have for this week. And Nvidia, as I mentioned, I do think we're going to all-time highs. You can see here, this is why I have been bullish and why I said, as long as we hold 128, we will push higher. You can see that we're breaking out this morning. So if we can break out at 147, 150, then we should easily be able to squeeze on Nvidia. So yeah, that's all I have for this week. I hope you have a great day.
Join Chase to trade with Rithika and other experts. Subscribe to LaDuc Trading YouTube channel for more Wolf's weekly wave list videos and other content.